Hi, everybody. Welcome to the premiere episode of the OnStage blog podcast. It's so exciting. We're so excited to talk all things theater. It's going to be so fun. And I am theater critic Rachel Wagner. And today we have Chris Peterson is my co-host in this. And I'm so excited, Chris. Thank you so much for starting this adventure with me.
I'm so excited, and Rachel, I'm so excited to have you host this. I mean, your podcasts are outstanding, interesting, engaging. You're the perfect person to kind of lead this new official podcast. It's crazy, but we're getting into the space. I love it, and I'm just so happy to have you aboard.
Well, I've always had a love for theater and on all levels. I love community theater. I love, Broadway. I love pro shots, whatever. Give me. Theater.
Same.
So
Same.
yeah, so this is super exciting for me. I've been podcasting over at Hallmark's Podcast and Rachel's Reviews for years. And 2024 actually marks 10 years that I've been writing or podcasting as a critic. Started in 2014, which is wild. So it's very, very exciting for me to be able to start this journey with you. And I mean, I'm guessing most of the people with OnStage blog know who you are, but since this is our first episode, it seems appropriate to introduce ourselves a little bit. And so why don't you, for the record, kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, so again, my name is Chris Peterson. I'm the founder of OnStage Blog. Also, just like you, started doing this almost 10 years ago. May of this year will be 10 years on the dot. So it's time flies when you're having fun, I guess. That's like the word I kind of use for the blog. But yeah, it's been quite a journey and an honor to be able to do this for so long.
Yeah. Well, what I thought that we would do is have kind of two mini segments that we would do before we dive into the main topic. And there might be some weeks where we might talk about some theater news, but I don't know if there's anything this week. But I thought what we would do is talk about what we've been watching, and then also what we have coming up. And I am a working theater critic, a member of the American Theater Critics Association, and I write for my own site and also for Utah Theater Bloggers Association. And so I'm going to continue to do that as part of my work as a critic. So what is something that you have been watching?
Well, I'll be honest with you. So over the holiday, I made it my I guess not even a New Year's resolution, so to speak, but like I said, I'm sick and tired of watching shows like Ahsoka and Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett and not getting like the Easter egg references like a lot of
Right.
the other fans do. And they're like, so I said, okay, that's it. I'm gonna watch every piece of Star Wars content I can in chronological order according to canon. So
Uh-huh.
ambitious. It's going to take me months,
That's so
but
ambitious.
I started over the holiday break. Phantom Menace did the prequels. Now I'm in the midst of watching the Clone Wars, and then I'll finally get to Revenge of the Sith episode 3, and then we'll go from there. So it's
Uh-huh.
going to be a journey, but I've really enjoyed it. I'm a
Yeah.
Star Wars fan. I really love the journey that I'm on right now.
Yeah. Is there anything that you sort of reassessed with those prequels and some of their stuff?
You know, it's I'm so glad you asked this question because I was just talking about this the other night. The basic core story of the prequels is fantastic.
Hmm.
Where it gets muddied is the dialogue. It's the
Yeah.
script. It's and like going back, you're like, it wasn't Hayden Christensen's fault. It wasn't
Mhm.
Ahmed Best's fault that Jar Jar Binks said silly things. I mean, it was like
Right.
one of those things where it's like,
Well,
oh my God.
yeah. When you have a director who doesn't like working with actors, it's going to be tough. It's going to be
Yeah, it
tough. And
is.
the original trilogy weren't only one of them was directed by George Lucas. And so there was a filter there.
Exactly. Exactly. But the basic story is so good. And
Yeah.
I'm loving the Clone Wars. Dave Filoni is a genius. So
Yeah. He's
I'm loving that journey so far. How about
cool.
yourself?
Good. Well, I did take a little bit of a break because I have this idea for a Hallmark movie that I've been fiddling around with, and so I did a little retreat. My parents have this little house in this little town called Bicknell, Utah, down by Capitol Reef National Park. And so I went down there so I could just be focused and remove all distractions. And I got a like small treatment done. And it was the first thing like that I've ever written. It's only 33 pages, so it's just a start, but I was proud of it and I was happy to at least like get it out on paper in some way. And so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Love
It's a
it. I
lot
love it.
harder than you think because when you're writing a screenplay and a script would be the same, everything is through dialogue. Almost everything. There's action words, but any almost everything is through dialogue. And as a critic, as an essayist, I'm used to sort of, and that's not how I'm used to thinking. And so it was an interesting experience. And I kind of took a little bit of a break, but I did watch 7 different versions of Christmas Carol over the holiday season here locally. I pretty much went to every version that I could because I did the article of ranking all the holiday Broadway shows for OnStage blog, and that was really fun. The only major show, at least, that I missed is I've never seen the Grinch except for the Pro Shot one that they had, the Grinch Live, which I've heard is different than the actual stage version. So I did. That's the only major one that I was missing in my ranking. But I wanted to try to see as many different shows as I could, and so that was fun. And it's just so interesting when you take a story and you see it through so many different filters, and you see how different people interpret it, and what kind of works and what doesn't work as well. And I guess there's some rumors that we may get a Muppets Christmas Carol. And I did actually get to see that. There's a new revival cinema here in Utah. I saw Muppets Christmas Carol, which I love and adore. But I think there's definitely room for that in the Broadway world, because I don't think either of the musical versions of Christmas Carol are very good. There's 2 main ones, one based on the film with Albert Finney, and then one is Menken version, Alan Menken. And the Alan Menken version feels so like warmed over Beauty and the Beast. There's even a song that's like, it's about home or something like that. It's so like
I know
home. And
exactly
then
what you're talking about. Yep.
another song that felt really Be Our Guesty to me. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, no, I've seen that the Kelsey Grant. I think it
Yeah,
Kelsey
that's
Grant
it.
stars the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's all
It's not
right.
bad, but
It's not
yeah.
bad, but I agree with everything that you just said.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's room for another one. There really is. But so that's what I've seen. Do you have any shows coming up that you have planned to see?
It's interesting. I have like a great like full-time job beyond onstage blog that allows me to
Sure.
travel pretty much almost anywhere I want when I want, which is
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So at a moment's notice, if I want to go to, New York to see something, or if I want to
That's
go
awesome.
across the country, while I'm in a city doing something, I can go see a local show. So I'm looking forward to, I was just in New York, which we can talk about a little bit later, but I got to see a show, but um I'm looking forward to getting back up to New York to
Yeah.
seeing some of the new stuff that's coming out. But more interestingly enough, and this is not a paid advertisement for Broadway HD, but I've got like renewed my subscription to
Uh-huh.
Amazon Prime, and Broadway HD comes with that. And I looked at some of the content on there, and I was like, there's pro shots and things that I had no idea even existed, like the
Mm-hmm.
Sutton Foster Anything Goes production is on
That
Broadway
one's
HD,
so good.
right? I can't wait to
Yes.
watch that. There's a production of Little Women on there that I
Mm-hmm.
cannot wait to see. One of my favorite like underground musicals that's ever been performed is called I Love You, You're Perfect Now Change. There's a production of that, a
Yeah.
pro of that on Broadway HD. So those are the shows actually
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to digging into.
A couple other pro shots I'd recommend is on Broadway HD. A couple other pro shots I'd recommend on Broadway HD. She Loves Me with Zachary Levi. Laura Benanti is so good. And I also would recommend Daddy Longlegs. It's
Yes.
one of my favorite modern musicals, and the couple. I can't think of the name of the couple right now, but we're an actual married couple, which is always fun. And it's such a good book and musical, and
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I have coming up, I have the 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee at Utah Valley Players. I'm going to be reviewing that for Utah Theater Bloggers Association tomorrow, and that's a new to me company, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they have to offer. And then Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, and it's at a company at community theater called Regalo. It's in Lehi, Utah, and everything I have ever seen from them has been outstanding. And so, like, just the quality of the productions, the attention to detail, the quality of the singers. Actually, the last one they did was Amadeus, which was incredible. So they're a very underrated community theater here. But yeah, so that's what I have coming up this weekend.
I mean, you're in for a treat. I mean, I love both of those productions so
Yeah.
much. I got to see the original Gentleman's Guide when I was in Broadway, actually when I was at the Hartford
Yeah.
stage where it started, and
Oh, nice.
just so much
Yeah.
fun, so much fun. So you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it really depends on if you get a good dice quiz, obviously, because it's so many rolls. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Yeah, and Putnam Spelling Bee is so much fun because all the audience interaction and the makes it just gives it energy. So
Absolutely,
I'm excited.
absolutely, I love it. I love it.
So I will report on that on those in the upcoming episodes. What we thought would be fun for this first episode is we thought it would be fun to go through the announced Broadway shows coming up in 2024 and give sort of an excitement rating from 1 to 4, how excited we are for that show. And so it's something we do for Hallmark's podcast, looking forward to the new seasons coming up or Christmas or whatever it might be. So I thought that would be kind of fun and a good way, since this is the first episode, to kind of talk about what's coming up. And
100%. Yeah.
so we'd love to hear, if you're listening, we want to hear your scores and what ratings you, as far as your excitement level, you would give to these different shows. And I think I have 18 shows here. So uh, let's dive in. Let's talk about
Let's
it.
go.
Yes. So the first one is called The Days of Wine and Roses. And
Mhm.
this is starting this weekend, it looks like. So it's no
Oh no,
preview.
I'm shaking my head
Oh,
like yes,
oh yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
So previews starting this weekend as of recording, January 6th, opening January 28th. And then it's Kelly O'Hara and Brian D'Arce James star in a searing new musical about a couple falling in love in 1950s New York and struggling against themselves to build their family. And it's adapted from J.P. Miller's 1962 film and original 1958 teleplay. And it has composer and lyricist Adam Guttell and playwright Craig Lucas reunite in their first collaboration since their acclaimed The Light in the Piazza, which also starred Kelly O'Hara, and directed by Michael Grief, who did Dear Evan Hansen. So what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I mean, anytime you get Kelly O'Hara on Broadway, I'm there. Anytime
Yeah.
that you get Brian D.R.C. James on Broadway, I'm there. Anytime that Adam Guttell is doing anything, I'm interested. I'm
Yeah.
like, he's one of the more interesting composers of this previous century. And it's one of those things where it's like, you add all that up together, I'm at a 4. I'm at a 4.
Oh, yeah.
And the buzz from what I've heard from people that have seen the because it didn't, they had like an off-Broadway type of like little run there
Mm-hmm.
where they kind of tried it out. The buzz is strong. The buzz is really strong. So, and Michael Greif, I mean, he's such an interesting director. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's directed some of the more uh impactful productions in the past, obviously since Rent. And he has no Tonys. Like he hasn't won a single Tony. So I'll be interested to see if this is actually the one that kind of gets it, for him on that end. But yeah, no, very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you cannot give this a 4. I mean, incredible stars, an incredible writing team, director with experience. I have not seen this movie. I hadn't even heard of it, but it's a Blake Edwards directed film, and it's starred Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick, I guess, are the names. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It looks like This is from the days of wine and roses finally comes a night like this. So it sounds like it might have been a little bit of a pot boiler. I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be, like I said, I don't know how you can not be excited. So yeah, for one of the New York Times quote here on Broadway.com says a jazzy, aching new musical with wells of compassion.
I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, sign me up. Okay, so then the next one is Doubt the Music, Doubt a Parable. It's called Doubt a Parable. And this is Sister Aloysius, the prickly principal of an all boys Catholic school in a working class part of Bronx, is feared by students and colleagues alike. But when she suspects nefarious relations between the charismatic priest, Father Flynn, and a student, she's forced to wrestle with what's a fact, what's fiction, and how much she'll risk to expose the difference, all the while wrestling with her own bone deep doubts. And this stars Tyne Daly, Liev Schreiber, Quincy Tyler Bernstein, and Zoe Kazan. I don't say, written by John Patrick Shanley and director Scott Ellis. And it starts February 2nd, is previews. What do you think?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not over like excited about this, and to be quite honest with you, I think it's because like the original production is fantastic. We already have a phenomenal movie version of it. It's a script that like it's a powerful script. If those of you who are listening to this have never seen it before, I encourage you to go see it. It's a great play. I just don't know how much more meat there is to that script, that what could be rediscovered with a revival of it, so to
Mm-hmm,
speak,
mm-hmm.
especially with, again, like nothing against Liev Schreiber and Tyne Daly. They're wonderful, phenomenal actors. They don't get me to like, empty my pockets right away to go see this. I would probably put it like a 2.5, to be quite honest with you. Like
Yeah.
I'm right there between the middle of like excited, but not like it's not going to be my first choice to go see if I'm going to New York.
Yeah. Yeah. The cast is great cast. But yeah, I I mean I would definitely go see it if I had the chance, but yeah, I'd probably give this one a 3. Yeah, just for the cast and I've actually never seen the movie. It's one I've missed. I've never seen the play or the movie, so maybe it'll give me a chance to finally see it.
There it is. There it is.
Maybe. Okay, so next we have The Notebook. And this is, let's see here. This previews are start February 10th, opening March 14th. Allie and Noah, both from different worlds, share a lifetime of love despite the forces that threaten to pull them apart. With a book that has sold millions of copies worldwide and a film that's one of the highest grossing romantic dramas of all time, the musical adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' The Notebook comes to Broadway following a critically acclaimed world premiere engagement at Chicago Shakespeare Theater in the fall of 2002. The stars Jordan Tyson and John Cardoza, and music and lyrics by Ingrid Michaelson, a book by Becca Brunster, and director Michael Greif and Sheely Williams. So what are your thoughts about The Notebook?
Oh, okay. Everybody who saw it, in its out of town run said it's fantastic. Um, I just don't know. They're doing something that's very interesting with casting, and I'm not going to spoil it on this podcast, but to me,
Mm-hmm.
it makes no sense.
Mm,
Um, and and no one who's tried to explain it to me has made it any like made it more sense. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not really excited for this one. And nothing against the cast that's in it, but there really isn't that one or two or three names that are like, I have to go see them
yeah.
in this. So I'm probably at a 1, to be quite honest with you.
I can see what you're saying about the casting. It is unusual. Let's go with it. It's decided. But I have seen some of the production values in the pictures and things from the Chicago, and it does look beautiful. And I love Ingrid Michaelson, so I am intrigued just for that. I've seen her live twice. So I love her music and I love her singing. And so I think everybody's kind of expecting this to be the next Waitress. It's kind of they were similar to Sarah Bareilles and Ingrid Michaelson are kind of similar in styles as far as their pop career, at least. And so I think there's some of those expectations. And I think as far as the book and movie, it's interesting because I think it's one of those ones that when you really think about it, they're like the worst. They're terrible, but they have such good chemistry that it keeps you invested in the movie and in the story, and the ending and everything is, and so it works pretty good. But can they transfer that? And it's one of those movies that I feel like it did really well, but does it really have a hive around it? Does it really have people that like love it?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes like movies like Waitress, that who was really a huge, there was no hive around Waitress, you know, and then it became a thing. So it doesn't, and the band's visit and things like that, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like a huge movie in order for it to be a good Broadway production of that movie. And but still, I don't know, it's just with this kind of, especially in that summary when they're saying, oh, it's this huge successful thing, I kind of think, yeah, it was, but do people really love it? I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I would probably just for Ingrid Michaelson, I would give it a like 2.5 or 3. But you're right about the casting is kind of bonkers. But I guess it could be interesting. So we'll
We'll see.
see.
Yeah,
I worry
exactly.
that this could be one that doesn't last long. We'll see. We'll see if it can sell. All right. Next, we have Water for Elephants. And this is on the 24th. It starts previews. And it's the critically acclaimed best-selling novel Water for Elephants comes to vivid life on Broadway in a unique spectacle-filled new musical. After losing what matters most, a young man jumps a moving train unsure of where the road will take him and finds a new home with the remarkable crew of a traveling circus and a life and love beyond his wildest dreams. Seen through the eyes of his older self, his adventure becomes a poignant reminder that if you choose the ride, the life can begin again at any age. So this is directed by Jessica Stone, who did Kimberly Akimbo, with a book by three-time Tony nominee Rick Ellis, Jersey Boys' Peter and the Starcatcher, adapted from Sarah Gruen's novel, and a soaring score by the acclaimed Pigpen Theater Company. Water for Elephants unites innovative stagecraft with the very best of Broadway talent in an authentic and deeply moving new musical. So, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's interesting. I've heard, because it's again, out of town trial, I believe was in Atlanta. And I heard mixed things. I heard some people loved it, some
Mm-hmm.
people were like, meh, it was fine. And then I heard people that just absolutely loathed it. So I'm wondering if any changes were made, drastic or minor or things like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's always interesting.
yeah, like I wasn't high on I've only seen the movie with Robert Pattinson when that came out.
Yeah.
I've never read the book, so it's not like when I heard they were making this into a musical, I was like, okay. So again, I'm kind of at that one level.
I did forget to say Grant Gustin is the lead, and Isabel McCullough. So I think it's Grant Gustin's Broadway debut.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure on that. But yeah, so if people liked The Flash, maybe they'll come out to
There you
see.
go.
Yeah, this doesn't really excite me that much. I'm kind of curious to see this inventive kind of puppetry and other things that they have for the elephants. And so yeah, I'm gonna probably give this one a 2.
Yeah.
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 Probably wait till I hear the reviews and other things. Okay, next we have My Son's a Queer, but What Can You Do? And this premieres on the 27th, previews on the 27th of February. And it's just a one person show. Rob Madge, and written by Rob Madge, director Luke Shepard. Straight, well, not exactly straight. From a smash hit run in London's West End comes Rob Madge's triumphant and hilarious celebration of identity, creativity, and the profound bond between a parent and their child. When Rob was 12, they attempted a full blown Disney parade in their house for their grandma. As Rob donned wigs and played Mary Poppins, Ariel, Mickey Mouse, and Belle, their dad doubled as stage manager, sound technician, and goofy. Unfortunately, Dad missed all his cues and pushed all the floats in the wrong direction. Mom mistook Aladdin for Ursula. The costumes went awry. Grandma had a nice time, though. And My Son's a Queer, but What Can You Do is the joyous autobiographical story of social media sensation Rob Madge as they set out to recreate that infamous parade and this time. Nobody is going to rain on it. So what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm at a 4. I love Rob. We've had some interactions on social media and in the past, and he's a great, great human being. His if you're not following Rob's social media, please do.
Yeah.
Outstanding content. So yeah, really looking forward to this. And the show's gotten rave reviews when it was running in I believe it was running in the West End. Um, and it's gotten rave reviews. So cannot wait for this. I'm at a 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know a ton about it. I haven't seen their other work. But you got to commend them. You got to commend them for a one person show. That's impressive.
It's ambitious, and
Yeah.
if you've
Yeah.
watched their TikToks and Twitter, I mean, Rob's been very, very open about how daunting of a task
Yeah.
this is, and what a challenge doing a one-person show on Broadway actually is. But they seem to be up for the challenge, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a 4. It sounds like a lot of fun. Talk about it in the other swing in the other way. We have an enemy of the people, and this premieres, or the preview starts on the 27th, and it stars Jeremy Strong, Michael Imperioli, and Victoria Pedretti. Written by Henrik Ibsen and adapted by Amy Herzog, director Sam Gold. And it's set in a small Norwegian spa town. Henrik Ibsen's An Enemy of the People is about Dr. Thomas Stockman, a man of principles who discovers that the spa's water is poisoned. He naively expects the mayor to greet the truth with gratitude, but the town's political machine will brook no threat to its prosperity, even if it means letting thousands of people be sickened. Dr. Stockman becomes a whistleblower, and the public campaign against him mounts, setting up a moral battle between a lone truth teller and a society desperate for self-preservation. So what do you think about that?
Cannot wait. Again, number 4, through the roof. Outstanding cast. I mean, Jeremy Strong's such an interesting actor. So, and I've never seen him on stage. I only know him from his film and TV work. So, really interested to see how he does. Michael Imperioli is, I grew up on The Sopranos, so I love that. But I also know that he has a theatrical training background. So I'm interested to see what he does. And then, all you have to say to me is Sam Gold is directing a play and I'm there. So, yeah, I'm at a 4 all the way.
Yeah, cool. The only thing I know is Henry Ibsen, and his stories are usually really depressing. So that's my
You're
only
in for a ride. Yeah.
hesitancy. I'd really give it a 3, but I think it's going to be very well done. Very well done. Okay, then we have the Who's Tommy revival. This is coming on previous start March 8th, and it's looks like they only have one cast. Ali Louise Borgzi, music and lyrics by Pete Townsend, book Pete Townsend, director Des McAnuff, and it says myth and spectacle combine in the Who's exhilarating 1969 rock opera Tommy, including the unforgettable anthems I'm Free, See Me, Feel Me, Sensation, and Pinball Wizard. After witnessing his father shoot his rival, the young Tommy Walker is lost in the universe, endlessly and obsessively staring into the mirror. An innate knack for pinball catapults him from reticent adolescent to celebrity savior. I'd say this is one musical that I do not know very much about. I've heard of it, but I don't really know much about this one.
It's fine. I mean,
Mhm.
I've never been high on Tommy, and I'll be honest with you, when I heard that they were reviving it, I was a little surprised. I was like, really? Like this is you expect this to play well in 2023? Especially since this year it's gonna be a loaded revivals category.
Yeah,
When you've got Spam-A-Lot, you've got Merrily We Roll Along, you've got
right.
the Cabaret revival that's opening up later this spring.
Yeah.
So it's a crowded field. I just feel like no one was clamoring to have
Mhm.
Tommy back. So I'm probably at like a 1, and that's probably being generous.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I guess just because I'm curious, and I'd give it 2, but I really know almost nothing about this one. So, yeah. Next we have The Outsiders. This is March 16th, and it's Let's see here. They have Brody Grant and anybody else famous or nobody. Everybody else doesn't look like there's anybody in the cast that I'm familiar with, at least. Um, and let's see. So they have book by Adam Rapp and Justin Levine, music and lyrics by Jamestown Revival and Justin Levine, and based on the novel by S.E. Hinton, and based on the motion picture by Francis Ford Coppola, director Dana Timor. And it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1967. The hardened hearts and aching souls of Ponyboy Curtis, Johnny Cade, and their chosen family of outsiders are in a fight for survival and a quest for purpose in a world that may never accept them. A story of the bonds that brothers share and the hopes we all hold on to. This grippy new musical reinvigorates the timeless tale of haves and have-nots, of protecting what's yours and fighting for what could be. So what do you think on this?
Just like you were about Tommy being curious, I'm also very curious about this. I've heard a lot of strong buzz about this show. Again, like no name cast, but that's a good thing because it truly is kind of an ensemble piece. And I think a show like this having like a really established star might be distracting in a way.
Right.
I love the movie. I've read the book in when I was in school. It's one of our assigned reading things. So I love the story. So yeah, I'm probably like a 2.5, 3 on this.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm not. I mean, I know about the movie and I've seen it. I've never read the book, but it's been a while, so maybe this will get. I'll give it a rewatch. It seems like where are they going to fit songs into there? But they've certainly done that in the past, and it's worked out. So yeah, I'll probably give it a 3. I'm curious about it.
There you go.
All right, next we have Lempicka. This is a new musical. It opens on previews on March 19th. And Eden Espinoza has been cast. Music, Matthew Gold. Original concept and lyrics, Carson Kreitzer. Book, Matt Gold. And Carson Kreitzer, director, Rachel Chavkin. One of the world's greatest artists deserves the world's biggest stage. Lempicka comes to Broadway following critically acclaimed sold-out runs at the Williamstown Theater Festival and La Jolla. From the Tony Award-winning director of Hadestown and starring Eden Espinoza. It's a sweeping musical portrait of a woman who changed art and culture forever. So that is interesting. What do you think about this?
I'm at a 4, and the reason I'm at a 4 is that from everybody who's seen it, listened to it, knows anything about it, this is one of those shows that like we've been, wanting for the past 3 years to get to Broadway. And COVID kind of put a stop to it. It was supposed to, come on a couple of years ago and all that thing. But from what everybody has told me, this could potentially be the front runner for best musical.
Oh, that's
And
exciting.
Eden Espinoza is probably, in my opinion, one of the most underrated, rewarded performers, that we have. And so to have Eden back on Broadway is going to be just an absolute treasure. And again, put, Eden at the top of favorites for Tony's at that end.
I tell you, March is going to be stacked. Maybe I need to plan a March trip.
I was going to say, if you're picking any month to come to New York, there it is.
Yeah. All right. So then I agree 4. Yeah, I'm really excited. So then also March 28th, we have Hell's Kitchen, and that's previewing, and this, they don't have a cast yet listed, but music and lyrics, Alicia Keys. Book, Christopher Diaz. Director, Michael Grief. He's busy. And it's there's a place where the rhythm of the city is music, where every corner has a story and every window is a kaleidoscope, where a girl can step out of her apartment and find the world. That's Hell's Kitchen, a new musical from 15-time Grammy Award winner Alicia Keys that's about to make Broadway feel brand new. So what do you think?
Again, curiosity. I'm a 3. From what I've heard, I've listened to a couple of songs from it, and it's interesting. It's good.
Yeah.
And Alicia Keys is one of those artists that I think is going to translate really well to Broadway. I think it's going to rely heavily on casting, and getting that right cast. But yeah, to your point, I mean, Michael Rife, he knows what he's doing. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm probably at a 3 with this.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, like story-wise. There's not a lot to go off of, but yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be very curious. So I'll give it a 3. But next we have The Wiz, and this starts on the 29th in previews. And this is, of course, Revival. And it's got Wayne Brady, Deborah Cox, Nichelle Lewis, uh, Philip Johnson Richards, Kyle Ramar Freeman. So it's great cast. Music and lyrics, Charlie Smalls, book William F. Brown, director Sheely Williams. And it's Everybody Look Around. There's a Reason to Rejoice. The Tony Award winning best musical that took the world by storm is back, based on L. Frank Baum's children's book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The Wiz returns home to the American stage with an all new adaptation. I have to say, I definitely would give this a 4 because I haven't been in very many shows because I'm the worst dancer in the world. But The Wiz is a show that I have been in when I was in high school. It was a very white version of The Wiz, which you would never do now, but nevertheless. And so I have fond memories of it, but I've actually never seen it. I've been in it, but I've actually never been an audience member in it. And so I want to try to get out there and see this.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I love The Wiz. I love the score. It's an incredible cast. I mean,
Yeah.
they talk about nailing this cast, and I know Michelle Williams, she's going to do an incredible job with it. And yeah, I'm at a 4. I hope it gets the success and recognition it deserves. Again, crowded field for revivals this
Yeah.
year, but this is going to be a strong one.
Yeah. All right, next is The Heart of Rock and Roll. This is on March 29th. And we don't have any cast, but it's based on the music of Huey Lewis and the news book of Jonathan Abrams. Story Tyler Mitchell and Jonathan Abrams. Director Gordon Greenberg. A raucous rom-com wrapped in pure musical joy, The Heart of Rock and Roll centers on a couple of 30-somethings who know exactly what they want from life until they find each other. It's going to take the power of love and a little help from their friends to show them the way. Jam-packed with Huey Lewis mega hits. This is Broadway's newest feel-great musical. So on one hand, for me on this, I could care less about a Huey Lewis musical. Like, that just doesn't sound that interesting to me. But this summary sounds right up my alley. Rom-com wrapped in pure musical joy about these couples. And that actually sounds pretty fun. So maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I'm at 1,000,000. If the scale is 1 to 4, I'm gonna just because I'm a huge Huey Lewis fan. I love like listen to Huey Lewis music. It doesn't not put you in a good mood. And when this show had its original like off-Broadway run in San Diego, it got rave reviews. I had a couple of friends that were in it, and one of my friends
Good to
said,
know.
like it's like you're not coming to this show for artistic, delving into like the, deep characters. You're going there to have fun. You're going there for a rom-com, like enjoying a good story and then listening to some great music. But who would have thought in 2024 we would have 2 musicals with Huey Lewis musics on Broadway?
Yeah, random.
Back to the Future. So I guess Huey Lewis is in, but it's one of the best concerts I've ever been to is Huey Lewis.
Oh, really?
So I'm
Oh,
all in.
yeah, it was too harsh. Maybe I'd give him like I was gonna give it like a 2, but with that summary and everything and your words, I'll give it a 3. I'll give it
There
a
you
3.
go. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
But I hope you get to see it because I'll go see it too because I can't
Yeah,
wait.
that would be fun. Okay, so then we have Cabaret Revival, and then like you said, competitive. This opens previews April 1st, and it's going to have Eddie Redmayne in it and Gail Rankin as Sally. And of course, this is music by John Kander, lyrics Fred Ebb, book Joe Masteroff, based on the play by John Van Duren. And this is director Rebecca Frecknell. And I believe that they're taking basically the production that was in London.
Yep.
Over. Yeah.
Mhm.
Welcome in, bienvenue. Welcome to the Kit Kat Club, home to an intimate and electrifying new production of Cabaret. Experience this groundbreaking musical like never before. And they created a decadent sanctuary inside Broadway's August Wilson Theater where artists and performers, misfits and outsiders rule the night. Step inside their world. This is Berlin. Relax, loosen up, be yourself. So yeah, I probably can't afford to see this show, but I would think I would give it a 4.
No, a very select few of us are going to be able to afford this one. Yeah, the tickets I already saw were like hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. I was like, oh my God, killing me.
Yeah.
This is going to be, I'm at it like a 2.5. And the reason I say that is that I love this show. I love the movie that I saw. I love the revival with Alan Cumming that I got a chance to see as a kid. Um, from what I've heard, this show is designed a very specific, different way, and it's polarizing. Some
Oh,
people
okay.
walk out loving it, and some people walk out absolutely loathing it. I think it's timely. I think it's a good time to bring back cabaret with everything that's going on in the world.
Right.
It's got some great messaging. Um, but again, this production
Hmm.
it's gonna shake some people up in terms of
That's
what they think. So
interesting.
I'm at
Yeah.
like a 2.5. Yeah. If I even
Yeah.
get to be able to see
Mhm.
it. So
I've only seen it one other time here at University because it's not a show that's done a lot in Utah, but the University of Utah did it last year, and they did incredible. It was a black box, but it was a great version of that show. So I'd be very curious to see and see what Eddie Redmayne could do with it. But okay, next we have Uncle Vanya, and this is Lincoln Center, and it's starts April 2nd, and this stars Steve Carell, and it's an Anton Chekhov, adapted by Heidi Schreck, director Leela Nugbar, and it's got Alfred Molina in it as well. And it's Sonia and her uncle Vanya have devoted their lives to managing the family farm in isolation. But when her celebrated ailing father and his charismatic wife move in, their lives are upended. In the heat of the summer, the wrong people fall in love, desires and resentments erupt, and the family is forced to reckon with the ghosts of their unlived lives. So, what do you think?
I mean, this is another show that's like good luck getting any ticket that's below $200, $300 for this. But I'm at a 4, and the reason I say it is that it's such an interesting cast because
Yeah,
you've
it
got a
is a
good
really
mix.
weird cast
Right?
for
You've got
this.
Steve Carell, who's never done Broadway before, who's, to my knowledge, never done professional theater before,
Yeah,
along with Alfred Molina, who is one of our, treasured
yeah.
Broadway stars, and Anika
Right.
Noni Rose is in it. Allison Pill, who's also done some great theater and TV,
Hmm.
was in it. So, and I love Heidi Schreck. So it's one
And
of those
Aniki
things that's
Noni
like,
Rose. I just saw
yeah,
her. Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, such an interesting. If you put all those people together and said that this was Uncle Vanya, I would be like, wait, really? Like that's the show? But I'm at a 4 just to see how this
Yeah.
is all going to work. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my jam, just reading that summary, but yeah, I'm curious with this cast. I'm very curious. Okay, next we have Mother Play, and this opens April 2nd, and this stars Jessica Lange and Jim Parsons and Celia Keenan Bolger, written by Paula Vogel, director Tina Landau. And it's 1962, just outside of DC, and matriarch Phyllis is supervising her teenage children, Carl and Martha, as they move into a new apartment. Phyllis has strong ideas about what her children need to do and to succeed. And woe be the child who finds their own path, bolstered by gin and cigarettes. The family endures or survives the changing world around them, blending flares of imaginative theatricality, surreal farce, and deep tenderness. This beautiful roller coaster ride reveals timeless truths of love, family, and forgiveness. So I guess are we? So Jim Parsons is playing a teenager in this.
I guess. I mean, it's
I mean,
Paula
it's the theater,
Vogel.
I guess, but
Yeah, and it's Paula Vogel. She'll do these weird things. I
he's like
mean,
40, isn't he? I mean, he's
right. But I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, because didn't she? I could be completely. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I think she wrote how I learned to drive. I get,
yes, that sounds
and
right.
I think in that one, it's very clear that an adult is playing a teenager, but
Okay.
it could be interesting. Now, I'm at a 4 because it's Jessica Lange, and she's 74 years old. This is probably the last time we're going to get her on a Broadway stage. And you're talking about one of the great actresses of the 20th century. So interesting there again, like doing Paula Vogel stuff, which is
Jim
even more
Parsons.
interesting.
Jim Parsons is 50. He's 50 years old.
And he's playing a teenager.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess so.
I mean,
I
Paula
see
Vogel,
a Tony nomination in this. Just seems like practically built for a nomination, if not win.
I mean, Tony's across the board. I mean,
Yeah.
just you've got Jessica Lange, you've got Celia Keenan Bolger, you've got Tina Landau directing this thing. I mean, Paula Vogel, who look, Paula Vogel is one of the people, if you talk bad about Paul Vogel, she'll cut you. So it's like I dare not, criticize
Right.
you too much, but this could be very, very interesting. And again, like I think it's, if you're talking about a farewell to Jessica Lange's, like a nice curtain call for her career.
Hmm.
What a way to go out.
Yeah. Yeah. I give it a 3. It doesn't really sound like my jam of the kind of show that I love, but it sounds like it'll be a good spot for some good performances. And
Indeed.
so next we have Mary Jane, and this starts on the 2nd of April, and it stars Rachel McAdams, written by Amy Herzog, director Anne Kaufman. Captivating, affecting, and compassionate, Mary Jane is the story of a single mother in an impossible family situation faced with seemingly insurmountable odds. Mary Jane relies on unflagging optimism and humor, along with the wisdom of the women around her who have become a makeshift family to take on each new day. But will inner strength and newfound friendships be enough to see her through? So Amy Herzog, she's a player, pretty famous playwright. Yeah, it's pretty good. Sounds cute.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of at like a 2. I mean, nothing against Rachel McAdams and as an actress and things like that. But yeah, just it's not one of those plays that's like, ooh, yeah, I got to get there to
Mm-hmm.
see it. But interesting that both Rachel McAdams will be in a play, but also The Notebook will also be playing
Yeah, that's true. That's a
as
good
well.
point.
So that'll be
You could have
interesting.
like a Rachel McAdams weekend.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. I'd probably give it a 3. It does sound like more my, as far as the plot, sounds more sort of Hallmarky and more my style. It sounds sweet. So yeah, let's talk about Suffs. This is this starts on the 26th of March. Previews, and they don't have any cast listed on here, but this was written by book, music, and lyrics by Shayna Taub, director Lee Silverman. Following a sold-out extended run at the Public Theater, Suffs arrives on Broadway next spring, and not a moment too soon. In the singular mind of Shayna Taub, a remarkable epic new musical. It's 1913, and the women's movement is heating up in America, anchored by the suffragettes, Suffs, as they call themselves, and their relentless pursuit of the right to vote. Reaching across and against generational, racial, and class divides, these brilliant, flawed women entertain and inspire us with the story of their hard-won victory in an ongoing fight. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. Sounds like this could be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I mean, it had an off-Broadway run earlier, and I heard mixed
Mm,
reviews both about the production itself, and then also, again, we're in this weird time period of like, if you're gonna do something that's progressive, if you're gonna do something that's really forward thinking, like writing it in the right way. I mean, you saw the debacle that happened with the 1776 revival, and the backlash that that production got, and you
mm,
saw a little bit of that with stuff. So I'm interested to see what changes they've made to it, to kind of satisfy that, or if they're not going to even satisfy that at all and just say, forget you, we're just going to do this as is. But I
yeah.
think this is going to be a very interestingly received show. So I'm probably like at a 2, like closer to 3, just because I want to see what the reaction is.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like my kind of show, like woman, strong, centric show. Sounded like a crowd pleaser to me, but obviously it depends a lot on the music and the performances and everything. So yeah, I'll give it a 3, but I'm hopeful. Last one is called Home, and this starts May 17th. And we don't have a cast. It's written by Sam Art Williams, director Kenny Leon. In the Tony Award nominated play, the New York Times calls an uplifting folk ballad about the pure in heart. Cephas Miles has the whole world in his calloused hands until his sweetheart, Patty May, goes off to college and marries another man. Originally staged by the Negro Ensemble Company in 1979 and featured in the first of Roundabout's Ruffix project, Sam Art Williams' Home is a muscular and melodic coming of age story that gives voice to the unbreakable spirit of all Americans who have been searching for a place to belong. Have you ever heard of this play?
I honestly haven't, and I'm so glad Kenny Leon's doing it. I mean, he's such a phenomenal director, and he has such an eye for um material and staging and things like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not interested in it, but if Kenny Leon's like doing something like this, I'm like, okay, he sees something in this. So I'm probably
Yeah.
like a 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably also give it a 2, but I don't know. I'll be curious to see more about it coming out. So would you say the one that you're most excited about?
Ooh,
I know it's hard.
um, it's tough. I would have to go Olympica. I mean, that one is
Mm,
just gonna be. I think it's gonna blow the doors off of everybody. I think once the larger public gets to see what this show is, and understand why it's getting the buzz that it is,
mhm.
it's gonna change a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. I think I would have to go with The Wiz just for nostalgia sake. I'm really excited to see it, and just it's one of the few shows I've actually been in. So
I
whenever
can't
I get
wait
a
for
chance to
you.
see The Wiz or to see Bye Bye Birdie, those were the two shows that I was in.
I was also in Bye
So
Bye Birdie. So there you
yeah,
go. There you go. I love it. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah. So there we go. We did it. Let us know what you think about these different shows, what excitement level rating you would give. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments or on Twitter. And if people want to follow OnStage blog, they're on all social medias, right?
Yep. Every social media channel from Facebook to X to Instagram to TikTok. I mean, it's just look up OnStage blog. We're the same handle no matter where you go.
And if you have any ideas for show topics that we could dive into for this podcast, or people that you'd like us to interview, or just anything, since we're just starting it, we'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, and Rachel's Reviews Theater.com, and also at Utah Theater Bloggers Association. You can find some of my reviews there. So I'm all over the place, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. And so, yeah, let us know what you think. We'd love to get your reviews on iTunes if you're listening on there. If you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's how we can grow. Tell people about it. Tell your Show Tunes fans, your Broadway fans, all about the show. And we would sure appreciate that. And thanks so much, everybody, for listening. And we'll be excited to talk next week.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everyone.
Bye.